The differences in learning from what I've seen in Europe and from what I know in New Zealand, I think the key difference will be that the European system is still very much expert driven, where I think the New Zealand system tends to be a more facilitatory style.
The old linear approach was that the scientists figure something out, teach the advisors, and the advisors would then tell the farmers what to do. I think with the complex problems that we are addressing at the moment, this is not working anymore.
Before we started Action Network for sheep and beef farmers, we knew that we needed to provide some training for facilitators. We knew that facilitation was key, and from some work we'd done earlier in RMPP, we hadn't done well helping facilitators and giving them enough training. And so we developed a couple of training programs, and that was offered to rural professionals and farmers, because anyone can be a facilitator.
Learning in New Zealand, like Europe, we have a range of ways. For example, there was a strong focus on technology-driven, expert-driven. We know best, we will tell you what you need to do. But in my personal experience and my philosophy around learning, it's about enabling people, giving them the skills and confidence to learn themselves, which gives them then the ability to think, to innovate, to move ahead. And that's where I think we need to be going in the future. Rather than a tell, it's a support and a facilitatory style participation to enable learning. For me, it's not about practice change. I have this iceberg mentality, okay? So I have an iceberg, you've got that little 5% at the top that you see, and 95% below the water that drives where the iceberg goes. The little bit at the top as practice change, and everything underneath that drives what happens is the thinking and the understanding. So if you focus on the top 5%, you miss all the important things, so the thinking and the understanding. And if you focus on enabling people to understand and think differently, you will get practice change. But if you focus on the practice change and telling people what to do, you'll miss all that learning underneath.
A big driver of success for farmers is confidence. Confidence to make a change. So my role as a facilitator of these groups is really to put farmers in front of professional people or other farmers that are going to give them confidence that a new technique or a new perspective or a new piece of knowledge is going to make them change what they're already doing.
Well, I guess the way I do things is giving people space for change, and by space for change I mean using facilitation techniques to give people the ability to think about what they're learning and seeing and thinking about what it means for them. So you're not talking at people, you're helping them work out what it means for them.
Some rules for facilitation might be, 1, be organised. Make sure that you've got a plan for your day. Another thing to help with that is send the farmers some homework first, get them prepared, get them thinking about the day prior, and when they leave, ask them what they're going to do on the farm after the day. Has it made a difference to their business? To get farmers talking, a technique that I will use at the beginning of the day is that I'll get them in pairs. And I'll ask them a question like, why are they there for the day, for example, okay? And they get to talk to each other like that, okay? 2-3 minutes, get them into 4s. Do exactly the same thing. And then 2 to 3 minutes, get them into 8s. By the time you've got that, the room will be just a cacophony of noise. So that's probably the most important thing as a facilitator, is to get the farmers talking.
I think the key technique is around reflection and reflexive summaries. I use a method called ORID, which ORID, which is also known as focus discussion. So you start the discussion with a question around the O, which is objective, which is the head. What have you seen? What have you heard? The next is the R, which is the reflection. What excites you? What's challenged your thinking? The next is the I, which is interpretation. So what does it mean for me? What does it mean for my business? Then the last one, always really important, is D, which is decision, or which is looking ahead. So what will you do differently tomorrow as a result of what you've done today? And you're taking people in a logical progression, which enables them to think about where they've been, what they've done, how they feel, and where they could go. I think facilitation is a way of being. It's not about the techniques, it's the way you think. And facilitation is not about me, it's about the group that I work with. My focus is to help any group I work with be the best they can possibly be. So it's about giving them the skills and the confidence to do it themselves.